absurdly faster because it uses half as many tokens, if not fewer, for a lot of the work that it does. And that just feels great. It reminds me of the like old fast model days and the things I love about Composer and whatnot, because it gets the work done faster because it does it in less tokens, and it changes my work loop quite a bit, more so than I expected. The reason I didn't talk about this before is that when we were doing the early testing, we're on a somewhat private cluster that does not have the same performance that you would expect for end users. So I try to avoid talking about speed when I'm talking about the models I have early access to, because that's one of the things that's almost always different for what you get from what we get during testing. But it feels just as fast. Like, I did not get that much of a benefit on the private version versus what you guys get now. If you're using Grok 5.5 in fast, or if you're using GPT 5.5 in fast mode, I know you want your Grok code fast. When I talk about fast models, I bring defaults to Grok because it was the only fast usable model like ever. Yeah. Honestly, now I think about that, Composer and Grok fast like being under the same house does actually make some sense.
I'm saying, man, Grok code fast v2. It's going to be generational.
You love your brain dead models.
I do.
I get it now that you have the brain dead cats to go with it, but
don't talk about them like this. Like, does this look brain dead to you?
Yes.
Look at this beautiful little thing. Shut your good kitty. Anyways.
So the performance has been good, but the problem still stands with, because it's doing less reasoning, it will make less reasonable decisions sometimes. The thing that's weird is on the no reasoning and low reasoning versions, the intelligence doesn't go down. It writes code at the same quality. Like, if you give a detailed, like, write this for me for low, mid, or high reasoning, the actual code output is going to be nearly the same. Mm-hmm. When you tell it to think through something and write a proposal that is detailed about it, the low reasoning won't go down as many traces and as many possibilities and will not be as considerate in the outputs. I actually think this example from Ryan Florence that I have in the notes here is really good. Ryan Florence is the creator of React Router and Remix. Very old school, legendary web dev. We've had our beef in the past. We're pretty friendly now. He has a post that almost perfectly summarizes the experience I have had with this new model. I'll just read it out. GPT has a new phenomenon that's driving me nuts, and I don't quite know how to describe it. Step 1 is that he'll ask it if he can do something. Step 2 is it will respond with, no, you can't. Incredibly twisted restatement of what I asked, but also not at all what I asked. It then tells me how to do the thing I actually asked for wonderfully, and then finishes with an insulting, but you can't just, stupid thing I never said. As an example, it goes something like this. Can I form and coach a youth soccer team for my kid and play in P&D level leagues, or do I have to be part of a full club? It then responds, for official competitive teams in Utah, you cannot just form a random team and enter a league. There's a lesser known option, the UISA, which allows independent teams to enter leagues if they meet certain requirements. And then it lists some very simple requirements. But it's not show up with a group of kids on game day, M-. It's more like running a small club team administratively. Ryan then caveats, he never said just show up with a group of kids on game day. It does the same with code too. It's so weird. This is the closest I've seen anyone to describing one of the many strange patterns I regularly encounter with this model. I write prompts that are accurate enough to what I want that I noticed this change. When I'm being lazy and voice typing and some of the words are typoed or wrong and it does something like this, I'm more okay with it. When I'm sitting and typing and writing a very simple, very realistic proposal of like, what would it look like to implement this feature in an Electron shell that uses native drag and drop or something? It will say, well, you can't just use your native macOS drag and drop when you're inside of the Electron shell. Yeah, that's why I'm asking. And then it writes exactly